depends on me. The nation needs Wonder Woman.
Now, this is no kind of a night for you to be flying around in that outfit of yours.
Mother, away, away, you vision of enchantment. You've got a job to do.
Super.
In 1966, Batman took the on-screen world by storm, becoming the first ever live-action Saturday morning cartoon show, a celebration of the comic characters in the most campy of ways. Well, the character became so beloved and iconic at the time that producer and show narrator William Dozer thought to follow up his success by using another big-name DC superhero, this time being Wonder Woman. Now, if you could believe it or not, this show was actually intended to push further into that campiness camp, focusing less on vigilantes and villains and more on what wacky circumstances come with being a single woman in the 60s. And, you know, also a superhero. A show that would be titled Who's Afraid of Diana Prince? A name which feels indicative of the fact that this was being made to veer away from the whole hero thing. The first would-be Wonder Woman show wasn't even going to have Wonder Woman in the title. This would be like if that 66 Batman show was just called Bruce Wayne and his ward Stop Crimes. I don't know if this was just a working production title or they legitimately intended to make a Wonder Woman show incognito, but for future reference, you want the heroes to be in disguise, not the brand. The show was never picked up, but an unaired pilot for this premise does exist. I get the impression higher-ups must not have had a lot of faith in this particular project, because despite the success that the 66 Batman show saw, this pitch wasn't even afforded an episode's runtime to play out. Instead, it only had about 5 minutes to make an impression, and boy does it make one. As the potential title suggests, Wonder Woman isn't exactly the focal point here. Diana Prince is. And isn't that what you want in a Wonder Woman show? I mean, who wants Superman when you could have Clark Kent? Diana lives with her well-meaning, overbearing mother who cares less that her kid's Wonder Woman and more that she still isn't married. She's your stereotypical old-school by-the-book parent, but her good intentions can come off as pushy and suffocating, perhaps creating more problems than she's actually solving. While Wonder Woman takes care of the rest of the world, it's she who takes care of Wonder Woman.
You can't be a decent martyr on an empty stomach.
Please, Ma, not now.
Oh, sure, not now. Never. How do you expect to get a husband flying around all the time? Will you stop eating when I'm talking to you?
Mom, I've got to rush.
Stop!
Wonder Woman herself is something this pilot gets wrong. Wonder Woman isn't the strong, confident goddess that most know her to be. Or, at least Diana Prince is not. Diana is portrayed as a much more awkward human being. She's still a hero, but only part-time.
Part-time.
And the whole good guy gig feels a lot less natural to her than most fans are used to. It doesn't come off as second nature. And here, more than ever before or ever after, it feels like Wonder Woman is much more of a part that Diana's playing, rather than Wonder Woman being a part of her. The best way I can describe this show is to say that if it was made in modern day, Zooey Deschanel would have been playing Wonder Woman.
Mom? Thank you.
Now, all of this clearly doesn't stand the test of time. Few things age well this far into the future, but when you think about it, it was actually kind of ahead of its time. Just an attempt at capitalizing on the superhero craze and putting forward a project centered around a female protagonist was a risk that not many would take. Who even knew if there was really a market for this at the time? Props to them for taking a chance, but it's obviously one that didn't pay off, as this show never saw the light of day. For whatever it's worth, and I might somewhat regret saying this, I think this probably could have worked. For the time period it took place in and how heroes were depicted and translated between mediums, I think this could have been successful and created its own fan base. But I also think that this particular premise worked a little bit better in concept than it did in actual execution. Wonder Woman's mother becomes unbearable in this. And this wasn't even episode-length runtime. I wouldn't want to watch 22 minutes of this person, let alone a full season. I understood the point of this character very early on. At some point, You're just beating your audience over the head with purpose. It's excessive. I also don't understand this alleged mother. Because from my knowledge, Wonder Woman's mother is the Queen of the Amazons. And I'm sorry, but Hippolyta, this is not.
Mother, I won't be having any dinner tonight.
No dinner?
No.
Oh, don't be silly. Where do you think all that strength comes from? Those dogs? No, from my cooking.
At some point, a threat of some kind comes up, so Diana does what any superhero would do and gears up. But when she finally dons the Wonder Woman costume, instead of taking off, she does a little pose down in the mirror. I'm sorry, Commissioner, she can't possibly fight crime. She's far too busy blowing kisses at her reflection. The narrator even kind of clowns on her at one point, basically saying that she's not as pretty as she thinks she is. And I think that's highlighted by the fact that Wonder Woman's reflection is played by an entirely different actress.
Who knows she has the speed of Mercury, and who thinks she has the beauty of Aphrodite.
Yeah, this is a far cry from the hero of the mascara. The hero from the mascara? More like the hero with mascara. Best I got.
Not impressed.
Now, anything from this time period, especially effect-wise, is always going to be very obviously dated. That flying? That's a choice. It ain't the right one, but it is a choice, I guess. Peter Pan, eat your heart out. Overall, would this show have been good for the time? Maybe. I don't think it would have necessarily hurt the character's notoriety. Batman 66 isn't exactly the shining example of the Dark Knight that we know today, but it's still a beloved part of Batman history. Adam West acted as an entire generation's Caped Crusader, and I think that this could have been that for a whole generation of girls. Granted, changes probably would have been made. It's pretty imperfect as is, but then again, this was just a first draft. There's obviously room for growth past these 5 minutes. Regardless, I think this stands as an interesting window into the wonderful world of what if, and what could have been. And this is far from the only Wonder Woman window with that view, as there have been several other attempts at a Wonder Woman show that just didn't pan out over the years. So if you like this video and want to see more of the failed Wonder Woman series, let me know in the comment section below by leaving a comment saying,
Okay, well, let's say Wonder Woman falls in love with you, right? Would it bother you if the rest of the world didn't find her attractive?
I am vengeance. I am the night, and that was V Infuso. Just remember, if you're not tuning in, then you're missing out.
So, if you like the words that came out of his mouth hole, and you too would like to become a V-generate, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, nerds!
And if you're not joining the fun, you're in for one bad day. And you know what they say about having one bad day?
Catch him next time. Same bat time, same bat channel.